Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to this next lesson. This week I have a chord grip that I'm really excited to show you guys. It's a super modern, really cool sound. I'm going to show you guys this chord using some open strings and then also how to play it without open strings so you can kind of move this around. And this is kind of going to be like a good chord challenge too. This is a really tricky chord to grab. It's a really big stretch, so yeah, like I said, this will kind of be a chordal challenge as well. So let's get into the lesson and I'll show you guys how to play this chord. Okay guys, so the actual chord name is a major 7 sus2. Okay, so first of all, here's what the chord's going to sound like. Move this to some other spots. Okay, so again, that's a major 7 sus2, the actual shape. The open strings we're adding in change this a little bit, like the actual names of it, but the actual shape we're going to be forming is a major 7 sus2. So let's go over the shape. We actually start with just an add 9 chord on the lower 3 strings. I'm sure most of you guys have probably played that before. Okay, but we're fingering it slightly differently. Most of the times it's pointer, middle, pinky. This time it's going to be pointer, middle, ring. So it's going to be a pretty big stretch, as I had mentioned at the beginning of this video. So we're going to have pointer at the C note on the low E, 8th fret, middle at 10th fret of the A, ring at 12th fret of the D. Then our pinky is going to come to the 12th fret of the B. Okay, and then the G string and the high E string are going to ring open as we strum this chord. Okay, so that's the sound of the chord. Again, a real big stretch, and as you move it farther down the fretboard, obviously the stretch gets bigger. So just take your time, make sure you're warmed up with this one, and you give your fingers a good stretch before attempting this chord. Okay, so that's the sound of it. Now the order of tones is root, 5th, 2nd or 9, and the 7th. Now playing major 7 chords, or even suspended chords or whatever, I always think the 7th sounds really cool as the melody note, or the highest note that your ear is hearing. It always has such a nice sound. Even if I play, I won't show you these chord grips, but I'll just show you a couple different ones really quick. The difference between, here's like a standard G major 7, like a jazz grip. Sounds nice enough, right? But if I turn it in to a chord where the 7th is the highest note you hear, has a completely different, in my opinion, much more beautiful sound. Okay, anyway, let's go back to this form that we have. So again, that's a major 7 sus2. Okay, now for this progression I want to show you guys, we're going to have the high E and the G ringing open. Okay. So that's the chord. Okay, now we're going to take this up to F. So it's the exact same chord grip. We're just taking this shape and moving it now so the pointer is at 13, middle 15, ring 17 and the pinky 17, and again the same exact strings. And still letting those G and E strings ring open. Okay, now we're going to change the shape up slightly. We're going to move down to A. Okay, now I'll take the same shape, move it down to A, but now replace your ring finger with your pinky. Okay, and now the ring finger is going to come to 8 of the B. Now our shape is like a minor 7 sus2 or a dominant 7 sus2. So there's still no third in it, but now this shape right here, without any open strings in it, I'm going to take it up to D, down to G, can function as a minor 7 sus2, or it can function as a dominant 7 sus2, so it could function as two different things. Okay, so there's our chord. Now that we have this shape, let's let the G and E strings ring open, and I'm just going to go over the fingers one more time to make sure that we're all on the same chord here. pointer at 5 of the E, middle 7 of the A, pinky is going to be at 9 of the D, ring finger at 8 of the B, and then the G and E are ringing open. Okay, now after that chord we're going back up to the shape we had started with, so grab that shape, but now we're going to start it from a B flat note. Okay, so really quickly, pointer is going to be at 6 of the E, middle 8 of the A, ring 10 of the D, pinky 10 of the B, and then G and E are still open. Then we're going back up to C. So I just wanted to show you guys a progression that this would sound good with. So again, we're going from C to F, changing the shape. So we go to A then, that's, we'll just call that shape 2. Then we're going B flat, back up to C. Okay, and that's the progression there. So as you can hear, a really, really beautiful sound. This chord grip has been one of my favorites for a really long time. And you can of course pick through this too, so you know, going from C, so that even makes for a really nice sound, just going from C to F to C. Maybe go back to B flat, do that A. Okay, so that's the little progression that I have put together to use these. It's one main grip. I mean, this one is really just a 1 fret difference, but gives us kind of the minor equivalent. Okay, so where else can you use this? How can you use this chord? Well, if we're using shape 1, we can use it to substitute out for the 1 chord in a key, or the 4 chord, or the flat 7 chord. Okay, so let's just say we're in the key of A major for a second. Okay, so I'd use this chord as a 1 chord, A, also the 4 chord, D, also the flat 7 chord, G, and back up to A. Okay, so just as a quick example, shape 2, we can use that for the 2 chord, the 5 chord, or the 6 chord. Okay, so assuming we're still in the key of A, here's shape 2 starting from B, shape 2 starting from F sharp, our 6 chord, and B was the 2 chord. Now up to the 5 chord, E. Now back down to shape 1, starting from A. Back to shape 2, F sharp, up to B, okay, so you can hear all the cool sounds we can get out of that. Down to F sharp, back up to A, and now right there, I'm obviously not using open strings anymore. The open strings idea worked really well in the key of C where we started out, but not so much anymore for this kind of stuff. So right there, I'm just using the pointer finger to play the note on the low E and then mute the G and the high E strings. Okay, let's go back into the key of C major where we had started with our 1 chord. To F, down to A, flat, then back up to C. Okay, that's the idea. So pretty good little chordal challenge for you guys. You know, like I said, it's a big stretch, but man, it sounds so good. I love the sound of this chord. It's another one of those chords that works well to get you into like some different keys, or not different keys, I'm sorry, take you out of the key a little bit. So let's say we're in a C. Okay, sorry about my scratchy volume there. At any rate, let's say I wanted to go down to A flat, totally out of the key, but it sounds good. Up to B flat. maybe those 4 chords were all out of the key, but it still sounded good because this chord really moves nicely from one chord to the next, so you can experiment with that too. Alright, cool. So that wraps up the lesson. I will see you guys back here next week for the next lesson. Please let me know if you have any comments or questions or anything like that in the comment section. But yeah, otherwise I will see you guys back here next week. Thanks so much, everyone.